Hello everyone. Welcome to our presentation on cybersecurity. I am Houshika and we're here to talk about an increasingly important topic, cybersecurity. Now let's dive into what is cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is the protection of our digital assets from malware, hackers, and cyber criminals. The main aim of cybersecurity is to ensure confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. So I'll pass it to Ethan to share more about the evolution of cybersecurity.
Okay, so over the years, technology has evolved by a lot. In the 1980s, people were still learning how to make computers and large TV boxes, but right now, we are in an age of artificial intelligence and self-driving cars. So in the past, 1980s, the Morris worm, which was the first malware, was developed, and it gained attraction as people finally knew to improve their network security and systems. In the 1990s, computers became more affordable and accessible. Microsoft launched Internet Explorer as a web browser, which is one of the most popular browsers uh, in all of history until now. And furthermore, email communication became more and more popular, with Microsoft Outlook becoming the most popular at that time. In the 2000s, there was a rise in cyber attacks, uh, such as credit card breaches and phishing. The first credit card data breach recorded was in 2005 to 2007. Furthermore, Apple introduced their most successful product, iPhone, which posed a significant security risk as it was a new product in the market and there's not much cybersecurity implemented onto the device. Furthermore, there was also a lack of cybersecurity awareness amongst the users and the general public, as even though computers were more affordable and accessible, they still were not very clear about the ways to protect themselves. Therefore, antivirus softwares became more essential as the users could just depend on the software to protect their information. In the 2010s, hackers targeted high-profile individuals, such as millionaires who was like stock market owners or high-ranking politicians. Furthermore, cybersecurity changes in the country or around the world influence worldwide changes as well, as it was a huge market at that time. Furthermore, there was increased focus on internet safety education being taught everywhere from schools to workplaces. And lastly, there was the introduction of multi-factor authentication, which was alternate ways for users to verify themselves, such as fingerprint or visual recognition. Okay, moving on to the next slide. I'll also be presenting about the importance of cybersecurity. So phones and devices possess critical and important information, which can be manipulated against the user's will by either malicious softwares or hackers. For example, um, we link our email to our important information such as bank accounts, government accounts, and work accounts. The hackers can then use this information to commit crimes such as online theft or impersonation. On a larger scale, government data must be also highly protected, as even confidential data, as more confidential data is being stored, which could affect the nation as a whole drastically if it were to be leaked out or manipulated in any sort of way. Now I'll be passing the mic to Gladys.
Why do people fall for cyber attacks? A major reason of this is due to human error. Human error is the unintentional action or lack of action by users that lead to them falling victim to cyber attacks. I will talk about two types of human error, which is password and data handling. For weak passwords, they can be easily guessed, especially via systemic combination attempts by machine. They run various passwords until they find the correct one. sharing of passwords with others, and writing down of passwords both increase the chances of misuse by malicious individuals and the chances of unauthorized access to data. For data handling, the misconfiguration of systems and failure to follow data handling policies both increase the chances of cyber criminals exploiting the opportunity to access restricted information, which can lead to loss or corruption of data. So I'll talk about one form of cyber attack, which is phishing. Phishing uses deception to steal personal or sensitive information, such as our passwords, username, or bank account information, by impersonating well-known or trusted contacts, such as our schools, banks, and even the government. So how does phishing work? Phishing usually requires victims to click on malicious links or downloading harmful attachments, which can lead to loss of data. So where does phishing usually happen? From the most to least, the common platforms phishing occurs is emails, then websites, then social media, text messages, and phone calls. Now I'll pass the time to Falak, who will talk about other types of cyber attacks and how to prevent them.
Human-based attacks. There are three different types of human-based attacks. Shoulder surfing is the act of eavesdropping on a person's sensitive information by looking over their shoulder or over a distance. The type of sensitive information that can be stolen is login credentials, PIN numbers, credit card details, and other private data. The attacker may not even need to be near the target and can instead use high-power binoculars or CCTV cameras can be used to remotely observe targets. Secondly, dumpster diving is the act of extracting sensitive information from discarded physical or digital waste. Dumpster diving may seem like a crude method, but it has proven to be an effective method for cybercriminals to gain access to valuable data. Thirdly, tailgating is the act of an unauthorized individual following closely behind an authorized person to gain access to a restricted area. It poses a significant risk on organizations as sensitive areas are at risk of infiltration. The prevention methods are using strong, unique passwords which are long, complex, and difficult to guess. Enable two-factor verification. Periodically change passwords, especially for accounts that contain sensitive information. Avoid clicking on suspicious links or providing your password in response to unsolicited emails or messages. Lastly, be aware of common tactics used by hackers can help you better protect your passwords and accounts. Now I'll be passing the time to Zhao Jin to summarize the entire presentation.
To sum up, firstly, the purpose of cybersecurity is to help individuals and organizations to reduce the risk of falling for cyber attacks. Secondly, cybersecurity is the protection of digital systems, networks, and data from unauthorized access. Lastly, cybersecurity involves using firewalls and antivirus software to maintain our personal data confidential. That's all. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation, and hope everyone now knows how to keep your personal data safe. Bye bye.